Hi, how's it going? This is Joseph Kunkel from California State University, Fresno, for the class of CI-149, and this is my reflection video. So I have my questions written out. If you see me looking back down here, it's just because I've written out the questions that we were supposed to answer for this video. So, with number one being, so what did you learn? So CI-149 has taught me an array of different topics that I've learned. So I think that the biggest takeaways I have from this class is class management. There was a huge PowerPoint that we were supposed to do with that. That's uploaded to our website. As long as I think there was about 3 or 4 videos that we watched that were pretty extensive on how to manage a classroom from initially the first day of school is when it's the most important. You have to be very clear to your students what you expect and how a class is going to be ran, and I feel like that's a huge thing. Obviously, technology too. I learned how to look for different resources throughout the library on the internet and find different ways to include technology into my subject, which is physical education, which is one of the more harder subjects, or at least tougher subjects to include technology in, I feel like. But I was surprised that the different aspects that I've found that I'm able to include into physical education. Next, what were your major takeaways from the content and context of the source? So kind of reflecting back to what I just said, the different resources really surprised me. So learning how to implement, for example, smartwatches into a physical education class, so students can see their heart rate, check their pulses, and see what activity level that they're at, their fitness level, and see how many calories approximately, how the burning per activity, and things like that. So those type of ways really help me include as a physical educator. Ways that I can help children see, calories in, calories out type of deal, where they can see how active that they need to be if they're trying to reach a certain goal, whether it's increase muscle mass, lose weight, maintain their weight, whatever it's supposed to be. Next question: what could you implement in your classroom to help students see and use technology beyond research and writing? So, without other technology sources beyond research and writing, would be ways to pretty much just help each other with technology. So whether it's finding different apps to download on their cell phones and being like, hey, check this out. I have my Fitness Pal where I can track how many calories I'm eating a day. Let's see how many you're eating. Let's see how many I'm eating. I think that's just a really cool way that people can connect and be like, okay, I had this many carbohydrates, I had this many fats, I had this many grams of protein, and it equaled out to this many calories. Okay, it's like, well, what'd you have? And they could see the different ways in which their weight is changing, they're gaining or losing or maintaining, and learn from each other. So I think that's a really interesting way to use technology other than research and writing. It's just one way. There's obviously other ways too, but that's just one example. What have you learned from others that were aha moments to you? So for me, when we were doing the videos and sharing our lesson plans, I thought the coolest thing was other lesson plans from other students. They had their time written out. So if it was for 5 minutes we're going to be doing this, for the next 15 minutes we're going to be doing this, for the next 35 to 40 minutes we're doing this, and that was their lesson plan. And I felt like that was a really cool way for me. I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's a good way to kind of see structure in your lesson plan, to include everything, to make sure you cover everything, because as we know as teachers, everything does not go as planned no matter how well you try to plan it. So things come up, and you have to be able to adjust. So if you have something that you can reflect back on and be like, okay, we didn't get to that today, we're going to get to it the next day, and it can kind of help keep you on track. So for me, that was a big aha moment, where seeing time and structure on a lesson plan, very, very unique. Lastly, how do you see your class website building from this point? So from this point, this is the last project that we were required for the class building, or for the website, and I feel like it's coming together great. I'm looking back and I'm seeing all the reflections that I did. My 8 reflections, my lesson plan PowerPoint, the introduction video of how we were going to present ourselves to our students, and looking back, I'm like, wow, it's building. So it's definitely there. I have all my resources as well, and I feel like it's something that I'll look back to as I get hired and I go throughout my teaching career. I look back and say, what, this was good. When I wrote this paper on classroom management, I can reflect back to, okay, it's like, what did I say? What did I learn from that chapter in that book, or other chapters as well throughout the book that we were supposed to be reading? And yeah. So with those 5 questions, that concludes the video, and thank you for everything. See you guys around.